six sounds yesterday. And based on those six sounds, we will be making words. So now how we will be making words? First of all, there are three activities involved. And first of all, as you said, since you have opened your preschool, so yesterday I forgot to mention, out of the 4 modules, you can utilize first 2 modules for the junior KG or 4-year-old, whatever you call as, like KG1 or junior KG, whatever. And the last 2 modules, you can do it for the senior KG. So this is how you should divide. So 9 months school, you can utilize the 2 modules, which will include revision as well as the first time teaching. So module 1 typically takes around 2.5 months. So maybe 2.5 months first time, 2.5 months revision, and so on for the module 2. Now, first of all, for any words worksheet, we have 3 activities. The first activity is where the teacher will be writing each word one at a time. So now if you see, there are row of words. So first row or some rows contain 2-letter words, some rows contains 3-letter words. So the teacher will be taking these 2 letters one word at a time. So this is the first activity and what we call as word blending. All these things are mentioned in the previous worksheet. If you see, I have just opened the word worksheet. I'm not looking into the tips. Now how to handle it? So first of all, we will provide 2 rules to the kids. So you should start by first word, which is SA. So write S and A this far. Okay. So now the idea is you need to tell 2 rules to kids. The first rule, whenever you point to any letter, the kids are supposed to say the sound of that letter. Okay. And second rule, while you're into the motion, but you have not moved to the second letter, the kid should be saying the previous sound of this letter. So let's try to do it with you. So I'll point to the letter, you say the sound. While I move my pointer, you are supposed to say the sound of the previous letter till you reach the second sound. And as soon as you reach the second letter, you please say the sound of the second letter. Okay. So we'll do it with you as well, because this will be a practice. Okay. Yeah, please continue saying it. Okay. Now we will write it further closer.
Okay.
We do the same activity. Now we write further closer. Yeah. Sa. We write further closer. Again, sa. Sa. So do you realize that is getting slower as you are writing the letters closer? And finally, you are supposed to write the letter this way. And of course, you can move your pointer sa. 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 So there, yeah, if you see the gap, so when you say there is a gap, but this way there is no gap. So the sounds come in continuation without a gap. So that's why you are supposed to bring the letters from far away to closer. This is how we will be introducing. Similarly, you should do it with fa, of course, and you should do it in the same order as we are doing. So what was the sound of this? Okay. I'll move this F further closer. Good. Now let me put it more closer. Yes. Now. Yeah. Now did you realize the sound came fa, not anab. So the blended sound is fa. Similarly, if you do this, so I will just move the pointer now because you know that how to do it. So just say the sound. Yeah, correct. Now I'll just remove this. I'll just add Yeah. Na. Na. So the sound is na. Similarly, the sound is t, 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 ah. Ta, 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 ta. The sound is ta. Okay. Now we finished with first consonant and the vowel. We can also do the reverse. Now the reverse will be how? First vowel and then consonant. Okay. Now this is also you're supposed to start from far, but I will just do it. So what is the sound of this?
S.
Correct.
Yeah.
So first you're supposed to do consonant and then vowel wala. So first do consonant vowel, then do vowel consonant, because this is easy. So kids are able to easily blend. So what will be the sound of this?
At.
Yes. Yeah. Similarly, this also, no, this is easier. Okay. Yes, correct. Slowly we will reduce this a also. So an. Okay, and the last one. I know I am making you revise this because I just feel like I'm teaching kids, so that's why I follow the same method.
Yeah. No, anyway, it's new for me, so it's fine.
Okay. So what's the sound of the? Yeah. Now, once you are satisfied that kids are able to blend two letters, either consonant, vowel, consonant, then maybe you can do now 3 letters. How to do 3 letters? Again, write the entire 3 letters. Now, what you're supposed to do is, as I move the point, you will understand. So I will do the same way as you're supposed to do with the kids. Okay. So I just point to this letter. What's the sound? No. Wait.
Oh, okay.
As I move pointer, you should be fast. So as you move, so just move and say the sound as you see the pointer on A. Okay, we'll do it again. So you have to leave as soon as you go on A. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it one more time. So I'll tell you as I move my pointers. And I remove the pointer. Now kids should be able to understand this is even without even putting the pointer, kids should be able to say sa.
Yes.
They should keep on saying sa. And then you move your pointer on this. This becomes t. Sa, t. Sa, t. Sa, t. Yeah. So blend 2 letters at a time till the time they attain sufficient fluency. Of course, they will attain fluency because we would have already done practice of sa. Let them blend 2 letters, then only point to the 3rd letter. Similarly, you can do yeah. Similarly, maybe at. So this is yeah. Fat. So fat. Okay. Now I will also tell. So we did the rhyming thing, right? So there is one dominant sound along with so maybe you, so once you are done blending, you can say these words So in all these words there are 2 rhyming sounds, which is Now you show them with these sounds. There are 2 letters associated, which are So this is this. At. At. Now ask kids to just focus on the initial sound that you say. At. At. So at, if they are able to make, and they are able to just attend the first sound that you're snatching, they can make different words. Let's say if you just replace it with at, sat. So this is another way where we are relating our phonological awareness of rhymes of sounds with the letters. So this is how kids can also remember the sound. So sat, mat, fat are all rhyming. Similarly, tam, mam. So you're supposed to do ta, 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 tam. Similarly, ma. Similarly, tan, man, na. In this last second row, the rhyming sounds are am. So the rhyming sounds in both are, there are only two rhyming. Am. Yeah. So if you just try to snatch am and just try to snatch initial sounds, try to change to am. It is tam. Similarly, am. It is ma'am. Similarly, for tan, man, and nan, the rhyming sounds are an. Two sounds, two letters. An. So an, just change the initial sound to an. It is tan. Similarly, an, man. Similarly, an, it is nan. Okay. Now this was first activity where you do the blending. You write the words, two letters or three letters at a time. The second activity is a collaborative activity. How to do this? Basically divide the entire class into groups of at least 3-4 kids and provide them with write letters on piece of papers and make it in the form of chits and provide it to the groups. So we have done 6 letters. So there should be 6 letters ka chits to each group. Now what you're supposed to do is the group should sit and start making the words, whatever or sounds you make in between that group. So what are they supposed to do is as soon as you say sounds, for example, if you say just, they should just take out S and write down and put chit of S. Similarly, when you say a, they should just write down or take out A wala chit. Then they should take out F chit. Then and so on. This is single sound. Now for double sound, you can do the same activity. Of course, you should tell kids, first of all, whatever sound you say, you start writing from left to right because English is written from left to right. So try to see now while we saying 2 sounds. So kids should be understanding and try to feel what are the 2 sounds. Sa. So this is sa. So this is how kids should be writing S and A. So they should take out the chit of S, they should take out the chit of A, and they should put it together, ensuring that S is the initial sounds. As. So the sound is as, sat. Similarly, fa, ma, af. Just add it fa and just write it, and the kid should be putting the chits of F and A. Similarly, ma. So they should be writing. So they should be taking out chits of M and A and writing it together, and so on. So you should do it the other way also. So you can do it for sa, fa, ma, na, ta, and also the other ways. As, at, am, and. Why this is important? Because they will understand कि पहले A लिखना है. I hope some Hindi is okay. I have a habit of using Hindi words in between. I'll try to avoid it, but still. So it is very important for us to understand whether kids are able to understand the initial sounds or not. If you say as, the kid should be putting S ka chit first. But if you write if you say as, so they should just take out A chit and they should first write A wala chit and then S. So as. So they should try to understand the difference between sa and as, which is the initial sound and which is the final sound. Once that is done, then you can tell, now I will be saying 3 sound words, just try to see. So first you can say it in extended format like sat. Let kids identify the 3 sounds that you said and try to let them recognize what are the letters associated with sounds. So the idea is when you say sat, so they should take out S ka chit, A ka chit, T ka chit, and then they should put it in the order as you said. Sat. So they should understand what is the initial sound, what is the middle sound, what is the final sound. Same thing happens for mat, at, am, tam, mam, tan, man, and nan. Once this group collaborative activity is done, of course, this will give them a perception feel that they are holding the chit, they are holding the letter, and they are trying to make it. And they'd make it in group. So sometimes if some kids are not able to do it, the group makes them learn. So that is why we are doing this chit activity of making words, not writing. Now the third activity, first was blending, where you will be writing words at a time, 2 letter, 3 letter. The second was chit activity, the collaborative. The third activity is where we will be taking an individual assessment. So here is the case where kids will be actually writing. You can start with individual sounds. So basically the kids will be writing, each and every kid will be separately writing in their notebooks, paper, whatever, using pencils or crayons, whatever they have. And as you say sound, for example, if you say s, they should be able to understand that you said S, and they should be right. Similarly, then maybe you can go on saying 2 sounds, or at. You should cover all the words. And then maybe you can start with 3 sounds, at, mat, fat, tam, mam, and so on. So this will be the good point to understand how are kids performing in terms of A, sound blending, sound understanding, relating to letters, associating those sounds with the letters. C, how they are doing with sound sequencing. So are they able to understand the sound sequencing and putting sounds? Because one problem I saw with kids was they individually, they grasp the sounds very quickly. But while putting all the sounds together, they face issues. So this is a good point to understand whether to go ahead or whether to just practice these sounds and letters. And spellings basically. So this is how we are trying to make kids make independent spellings. And of course the rhyming thing that I told, for example, at, fat, you can, while writing also you can emphasize that now I'll be saying the rhyming words. So the rhyme is at. If you just focus on the initial sound, I will be just changing the initial sound and the entire spelling becomes. So this is at. If they are able to associate this rhyming sound with the letters at, they need to just focus on the initial sound, which is at, fat, at, mat. Similarly in tan, man, and nan, the rhyming sounds are and. So they can just associate and with the 2 letters A and N and try to just focus on the initial sound that you're saying. So is the word worksheet part clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the word worksheet part clear? Can we move ahead?
Yes.
Sorry, I joined late today. So, but yes, I can make out that you're teaching the sounds, initial sounds, right?
Yeah, we are trying to make words using 3 activities. So you are supposed to introduce these spellings or words with the kids. So there are 3 ways we are trying to do it. The first way was basically you take each and every word. It may be a 2 letter or a 3 letter. Write it down on over board, 1 word at a time. That is the first activity. We found out a way. When we do the next word worksheet, I will again reiterate it because anyways I'm going to again do it. The second is collaborative activity, where basically we divide the entire class into groups of kids, maybe 3 or 4 kids per group, and we distribute chits. So basically we write down letters over chits, just like flashcards or something, but in a very cost effective and efficient way. Just write down letters, whatever you have taught till now, over chits, then divide it among the groups. And then maybe you are supposed to say the sounds. If you say one sound, like for whatever letters we have introduced, like the kid should be, the entire group should be putting that particular sound ka chit in between. And let's say then you can start with 2 sounds, as. So the idea is they start from left and they are able to understand which sound to put, which letter to put first. If you say as, they should put A first and then S. If you say they should be able to put an S first and A later. And similarly, you can start with 3 sounds. And the third activity is the same as the collaborative activity, with the only difference that each and every kid will be writing. So middle activity is just for the perspective of perception. So they are able to make spellings on their own using the chits. And the third activity focuses on the individual writing. The blending part I will again explain when we move on to the group 2. So now we have again, as I said, there are 2 activities associated with whenever we introduce a new sound and associate them with the letters. So again, let's try to identify the sound that I'll be saying. Again, we can group it down into 2 groups. The sounds, the words which have this particular letter at the starting, and the words which have L at the end. So the first group is where I'm trying to snatch L at the starting. So the sound is egg, 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 am, iron, it. This is the first group, and I snatched it from my left hand. So this is the initial sound. We can tell kids, I'm trying to snatch the initial sound. Why? Because I'm trying to snatch it with the left sound, left hand. Similarly, mobile, mobile. Similarly, wall, tall, small. Now, how to make this sound? We need to put your tongue on your upper part of the teeth. So as kids tease each other by doing that is the sound. And how to let kids practice? First of all, let them identify on their own that the sound that you're trying to do is try to recreate it. Then show them this letter. The letter is L. And in order to do the practice of this sound, maybe you can just sing a rhyme. Leg, lamp, lion, light. So this is how they try to do it. Try to do it 8 to 10 times so that the kids actually are able to reproduce. The sound is and the sound was basically when you put your tongue on the upper part of your mouth, not on the upper teeth. That makes but when you put your tongue on the upper part of the teeth, that becomes So this is the first sound. Again, so I will do it for now, but at the end of this module, I will expect one of you to also do this. Again, this picture worksheet, through this picture worksheet, the idea is we try to build the vocabulary. If the kids are not able to identify some new objects. B, we are slowly putting them into the segmenting and blending format. So again, put a pointer on one of the picture, call one kid at a time. Ensure that all kids are covered. No matter the words may be repeated, that's not an issue. So now this is leg, of course, leg. Correct. Great. Egg, egg, egg. This is leg. This is how even you're supposed to do it with kids by just identifying or segmenting the initial sound and then again blending it. Now this is ip, ip, ip. This is lip. Similarly, this is iron, iron, iron. Again, say it and blend it. Lion. Similarly, this is amp, amp, amp. This is lamp. Now this one, this is mobile, mobile. This is mobile. The kids are supposed to repeat after you so that we are slowly preparing them for this blending activity. Now the second sound. Again, the second sound is like rrr. The way we race our cars or bikes. Rrr, rrr. Yeah. So this is rrr, add. Again, we can divide the word group into 2 categories. One where rrr comes at the starting, the other one rrr comes at the end. So this is rrr, add, rrr, abbot, rrr, emote. Similarly, rrr, aim, rrr, ing, rrr, un, rrr, ed. So the sound is rrr, and you should also do it when you say it. So rrr, rrr, so that the kids can relate it to the sounds nearby, what is happening. Similarly, the second group is water, rrr, mother, rrr, father, rrr, rrr. When kids are able to reproduce this, rrr, in fact, you should do this activity also while saying, so that the kids understand. When the kids are able to at least some kids are able to identify the sound that you're trying to snatch, show them that this letter is R. And now, whenever they see this letter R, they're supposed to make the sound rrr. Yeah, and maybe for practice, you can just sing the jingle rat, rabbit, remote, rain, ring. You can do it 8 to 10 times so that the kids are able to recreate the sound. And this is the picture worksheet. Again, put pointer on or put your stick on this picture. Ask kids to identify. If they are able to identify, it's good. But if they are not able to identify, you tell them that this is a color which is red. And you're supposed to say red firstly in the common way. Red. This is red. Now this is ing. This is ring. Similarly, this un. This is run. Similarly, this rat. Now the rest of the two. Mother. And this water. Water. Okay. Now we look into the second vowel. Mind it, we are doing the short sounds of the vowels as of now. The short sounds. Now, the sound that you're supposed to make of this O is O. Widen up your mouth. O. So this is kl, o, k, r, o. Now mind it. O. Vowels will generally come in between. So ask the kids to focus on the middle sound that you're trying to pull down and try to remove. So the action is basically, by doing these actions, kids try to understand that you're trying to snatch something in middle. For example, if you want to say clock, so kl, o, k, o. There's only one sound remaining in between, which is o. Similarly, r, o, k, rock. Similarly, onion. Now, o comes at the start only. So, onion. Onion. Similarly, fr, o, k, n, o, k, n, o, t, g, o, t, h, o, t. And when it comes to on, n, o, n. So the sound of this letter is
O.
correct. Now this is the picture worksheet. The same words as you said. The idea is just we'll be showing these pictures and let kids identify it and say it in the extended and the blended format. For example, this is onion. This is onion. Similarly, this is rock. This is rock. Now this is hot. Hot. This is got. So got. Got. And this is on. We are just trying to tell them that o sound comes somewhere in these pictures at some place. So you're supposed to use letter O with the sound O. Now mind it, this O sound, first of all, is a very confusing sound. Why? Because if it's just a 3-letter word, we comfortably say it as O. But this O sound, when it goes to multi-letter word, it creates a lot of problems. For example, SON is also sun and SUN is also sun. We don't say it as son. So O is a very confusing sound. Usually with 3 letters, we will be seeing that O sound aa raha hai. But with 4 or more letters, there will be some other sounds which we will see in the upcoming module. But right now, we will be just looking into 3-letter words. So that is okay. So we will quickly revise the 3 sounds, the 3 new sounds that we looked into. So what is the sound of this?
O.
Okay. What is the sound of this?
R.
Yes. Yes. And what is the sound of this?
L.
Correct. Great. Now we will do the word blending. Again, there will be 3 activities associated with the words. And if you see all the activities, how are you supposed to do are written. For example, this is for sound blending. This is for word formation, for chits. And this is for word writing, where kids are supposed to write. Okay, you can read it. These are repetitive, guidelines. You will find it at the starting of each word sheet. Now, so as I said, again, 3 activities are there. I will just look into the blending part first of all. So how to blend? Again, start with 2-letter blending. And we will do it both ways. The first way I suggest is do consonant vowel and then do it the other way. Vowel and consonant. So again, we will do the same activity. This time maybe with Randeep, I'll do it with you. So what I was supposed to do, what I did with Moi was, how are you supposed to do it? Like the way we found out was, we write 2 letters and we write 2 letters this far. We start by writing the 2 letters this far. Okay. And we tell 2 rules to kids. First, whenever you put a pointer or stick to any letter, the kids are supposed to say the sound of that letter. Okay. And while you're in transition or you're in moving position and you have not reached to the next letter, you're supposed to say the sound of the previous sound only. I'll do it for you for once. So if I point to this is for.
Yeah.
So by doing this, what is the advantage basically? When you say off, there is some blank in between. So sometimes it is very difficult for kids to understand that off is for. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to relate the sound. So we are saying for. Now I will write this F further closer so that my pointing becomes little bit faster. The agenda is that reduces and the gap also reduces. So maybe I just point to the sound and you need to say the sound till the time I reach O. Okay. And as soon as I reach O, you have to leave sound and say the sound of O. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Similarly, if I write now this closer. So again.
Oh.
Do you realize you are straight, right? You are just saying for, you're not saying
Yes.
and O.
Right, right.
Now I put more closer. Because I need to reduce your okay. So this is O. Similarly, if I put more closer, so this is for. So it is coming naturally. You need not to put any efforts to tell kids. So we will move letters closer so that the blending becomes natural. And we will make it closer so that itna pass aa jaye ki just quickly ho jaye, like for. This is how you're supposed to do with all the 2 letters because we are just beginning. Similarly, you can do with more, right? Mo this far and then bring them closer. More. Similarly, raw. Now, I emphasize maybe here also no, law, and so on. Then I emphasize ki maybe then you can take this or to write it the same way. Or and t this far, ought. Similarly, on, or, off, and os. So you do it both ways. Now, when you do the 3-letter word, again, let the kids blend first, write the entire word like ought. How they're supposed to do it, let them blend this. Of course, we would have done it earlier, or no, so they will have some understanding that no is no. But still, if they would have forgotten since we are in the very initial phases, the idea is you point to, again, tell them the same rule. Let them blend this N and O until the time they are in a position that even if you remove this pointer, they can just identify and say it as no. You need to put them into this condition. So you keep on moving your pointer from N and O. So no. Now remove the pointer. Are the kids able to say no without even your pointer? If the answer is yes, just point to T. Again, point somewhere in middle. No, T. And try to move the pointer back and forth till the time kids are able to say it as not without even your pointing. Now this is one thing. So there you need to handle 3-letter words this way only. So not, lot, mot. Of course, some words may not make any sense. We are just doing the practice, so that's why we have put. Similarly, rot. Similarly, ron, mon. Similarly, nor, for. Yeah, yeah, mo. Now, after you're done with blending all the words 2-letter, 3-letter, now we can also slowly introduce this rhyming concept so that the kids understand the concept of rhyme and they are able to make different spellings. For example, in the second row, there is all the words are rhyming with the sounds o. Let the kids identify lot, rot. Let the kids identify the rhyme is ought. And then let the kids tell you what are the 2 letters or the 2 sounds that you're saying. First, you're saying ought. Once kids are able to identify, just ask them to focus on the initial sound and tell them the words that you're saying have rhyme at the end. So odd, you need to just change the initial sound. So they need to just focus on the initial sound, and by changing the initial sound, the kids will be able to make multiple words like ought. So they should know ought, how it is written. Ought, it's not. Ought, it's lot. Ought, it's mod. You can also do it by highlighting this. So this becomes ought, ought.
Ought.
Yeah, similarly, ought, rod. Similarly, the rhyme in the third line is maybe on. So if kids are able to just focus on this rhyme and associate letters, on is the rhyme in all the words, and they are able to spell on. So they need to just focus on the initial sound that you're saying, which is on, it's ron. Similarly, on, mon. Similarly, or, it's nor. So the rhyme in this line is or. So it's or, fought, or. So this is how we are helping kids make different words. Once blending is done, again, you can distribute chits with the letters, that the new letters and the previous letters, and then start one sound at a time, like r, and then start two sounds, maybe say for. The kid should be using the chits to make the words for and also off. So they should be able to make both ways. They should be able to make to and also ought, and so on. And then maybe you can say them the three sound no. So this is the second part, middle part, the perception activity. And the third activity is where each and every kid will be writing in the same sequence. One sound, two sound, three sound. Again, if you are sure enough that kids are able to blend and write all the words, then only move to the next activity. So now the next activity is we are, for the first time, are introducing a story. So what is this story about? So basically this story right now are just group of sentences. You will see story in full-fledged form in the second module. As I said, our program is just not about blending words, but our focus is about letting kids read on their own. And because of that, we have introduced two concepts, which is fluency and comprehension. So with the help of these small group of sentences, which are just group of sentences for now, they will make sense when we move ahead to the second module. First of all, if you see here, these stories will contain only the sounds that you have taught till now. So now, so again, two things. The instructions are written, how to do it and everything are written here in the activity time. I will summarize it here. Now, what you're supposed to do, first of all, you're supposed to ask kids, maybe you can make group of kids, or you can ask individual kid to come and read. So first, we will be working on the fluency part. How to work on the fluency part? The idea is, first of all, two rules: point and read. Point and read. So point and read until the time you don't see any blank like this. You are supposed to blend the sounds. So your blending stops here when you see either a blank or a full stop. So this indicates that this is one word and the blending stops. Now, how they're supposed to blend? Again, the way you were putting pointer and asking them to blend. For example, they put their pointer here, ma. Let them blend two letters, ma. When they're able to say ma, then only ask them to go ahead, which is man. And here blending stops because there is blank space. Now you need to tell this, these are group of sentences and every sentence tries to tell something. And every sentence ends with a full stop. Of course, some are phrases, but we are trying to just make kids understand that whenever there's a full stop, the sentence stops and whatever the sentence tries to convey stops. So first of all, blending stops here whenever you see a gap or full stop. And secondly, you need to point and read. The kids will be pointing, you won't be pointing. Then since this will be the first story, give them ample time to blend and read. So now, sat. This is how they're supposed to read. Maybe you can take one sentence per kid, or in fact, I will emphasize at least first of all, ask all the kids to read on their own and ensure that all kids are able to read all the words. Of course, they will be able to blend because if you have done the previous two worksheets properly, so they should be able to blend. The only point is they will take some time because they're doing this for the first time. Once this is done, at least let the kids read it thrice so that they acquire a sufficient speed in blending, because we are blending so many words. So let them read at least thrice before going to the next activity, which is the comprehension part. Once you are done, okay, now kids have assumed a sufficient fluency in reading and blending words. Now we will be moving on to the comprehension part, and you're supposed to make a table like this. Now the first column, so basically if you see in the activity time, you will be seeing that there are three things, which is character, plot, and setting. So every story has these three elements, which is character, plot, where is this story happening. Character is basically who are the heroes and anti-heroes, or for whom we are talking. Second is plot, basically what is happening. And third, which is setting, so basically where it is happening. So these three elements, we have just simplified it, and we have tried to enforce it into three columns. Now the first column says story elements, which are basically the characters. If we try to let kids interpret the stories with the help of different grammar tools. Now characters or the story two elements or the heroes are basically either the nouns or the pronouns. So we will try to identify who are those story elements, and you will be basically asking, you will be involving kids and you will be filling this. Then action elements basically involve the plot. So where it is happening, who is doing it, and things like that. So this will have major grammar portion involved, which we will look into one by one. And the story sequence is basically the sequence of the events that have happened in the story. This is supposed to be filled at the end after the discussion, when you will be just asking the questions. Now let's identify. So first of all, let's identify what are the story elements. So the first two columns you're supposed to fill by pointing out. So you will be pointing, you will be only providing the answers, the kids will be only blending and reading. How? So maybe you can start with, let's identify who are the heroes of the story. So maybe you point out to this and ask one of the kid to blend. So this is man. So one hero is man. There's something happening in the story with the man, and you can also explain the meaning. What is man? Similarly, one more hero is there, which is rat. More heroes we identified. Tom, Matt, Fan, Sam. You're supposed to point and let the kids blend and read. Okay, now we identified there are heroes. Ask them, who are the heroes? We see man. Now you're not supposed to point. Man, rat, Tom, Matt, Fan, and Sam. Write it down in this column, which is the story element. Something is happening with these story elements. Let's find out what is happening. Now, start with basic questions. So I have tried making these asking questions quite uniform. So we will tell kids in every sentence. So first of all, these are group of words, and group of words make a sentence. So now in every sentence tries to convey something, and in every sentence, some action is happening, something is happening, some work is happening, either implicitly or explicitly. Let's try to identify what is that work that is happening. For example, in the first sentence, so the first question that we will be asking while filling action element is, what is the action? And you're supposed to do this. What action? Maybe you can do it in your local language if kids are not very comfortable with English. Say it in local language first, and then repeat it in English. So what is the action? What is the action? And you point to this. Let's identify what is the action in the first sentence. You point to this and let one of the kids blend it. At. So the action here is at. We also identified there is one hero, man. Now when the kids are able to say the action is sat, maybe you can explain them what sat is. Maybe the way you sit down on chair is sit, but since you sat yesterday, like before coming to school, so where you basically did the action of sat. Basically before coming to school, you must have sat somewhere, maybe on the sofa, on chair, on bed, on mat, wherever. So that action which has already happened is sat. Now, the second question where we identify with the help of story, we have already identified that something is happening with the story elements. Now we identify who is doing that action. Who? So first of all, we were asking what is the action. Now let's identify who is that story element that is doing that action. And then you point to man, and let the kids read it as man. Then do this Q&A round. Acha, who is doing that action? It's man. Maybe you can explain it in the local language. So the action is sat. Like somebody sat, beta. Who sat? It's man. Now we know a man sat. Where we don't know. Now we are able to, kids, with the help of these two questions, what action and who is the doer, we are able to identify we are able to make kids understand the meaning of the sentence. Now let's identify here. Let's go to this third sentence. Again, what is the action? Sat. You point to this and let the kids read sat, sat. It's the same. The kid should be able to understand sat, sat. Somebody sat. Let's identify who that is. It's Tom. So who sat? Tom. Now this sentence will have something extra, is having something extra even after the verb. So for prepositions, we will ask where Tom sat. Where Tom sat. Let's identify. On mat. So mat is down and Tom is above. That's why on mat. So you point to this entire phrase on mat. Now we know the action is happening is sat. Who sat? Tom. And where Tom sat? On mat. Now we make sense with these two heroes that Tom is doing something and something is happening on mat. Now we know we can make sense. Similarly, fan ran. Again, point to this. What is the action? Ran. And who ran? It's fan. So again, ran. Tell the kids, ran. Something ran. Now that action is not happening. It has already happened. Ran. Like running, but maybe you were running before coming here. Now that is not happening. Now who ran? It's fan. Now we look into one more. So we have one adjective also here. The hero of this sentence is rat. Something is happening with rat. Let's see what's happening. So you see fat. So whenever you try to introduce some adjective, we will ask the question as how is the rat? And you point to this and let one of the kid read it as fat. And then maybe you do the Q&A. Cha. So the rat is fat. You can also do the action. Similarly, Sam. How is Sam? Sam is also fat. So we identified here action elements. So what is the action happening? There are two actions happening. You can ask the questions, and then maybe now without pointing out, you can just have a discussion. What is the action happening? There are two actions happening. One is sat and ran. Now who sat? There are two people who sat, man and Tom. And who ran? There is only one, fan. And how are rat and Sam? Sat. And where Tom sat? It's on mat. So whatever questions I asked, like once after you do this pointing stuff, the third column you're supposed to fill the same way, like by asking questions. So the story sequence is basically you're supposed to ask questions as the sequence of the sentences are. So maybe who sat? First who sat? Then the kid should be saying man, and you should be filling here man. Then maybe who else sat? Tom. Now Tom sat where? On mat. So this is the third column where you're not supposed to point. You're just discussing and you're just assessing whether kids have been able to understand the story or not. So the third column serves as the assessment whether they are able to understand the story and say the meaning or not. So this is how we bring in the grammar tools to let kids understand and comprehend the story. Now we will, maybe I think for today, we will be able to complete this group. So whatever sounds now we will be doing, the sounds will have by default at the end. Like when we say b, we have the inherent habit of doing b. So by default there is at the end. We will try to reduce our b as well and kids b as well. Just try to see the way I'm trying to snatch either letter B ka sound at the starting or at the end. So this is b at, b anana, b lack, b oat, b ab. Now the second group, ka, b, where, b, ko, b, la, b, com, b. So the sound is b. So I'm trying to press both the lips and I'm saying b. I'm not saying b, I'm saying b. I'm pressing both the lips, b. This is the sound that you're supposed to say. So by default, of course I've practiced it. That's why I'm able to say b. But you're also supposed to do the same. You're not supposed to say b. It's not opening your mouth, but closing. B. Just say ko, b. You will be able to say it. So press both of your lips and then make the sound. B. Press your lower lip with your upper lip. B. So the sound is b. Correct. So again, bad, banana, lag, boat. Let the kids practice it as b. And then show them this letter. The letter is b. Again, we have picture worksheet. So this is b at bat. This is b oat boat. This is b ox box. Now this is b oat board. This is comb comb, and this is lamb. With the help of these pictures, we are letting kids identify that b sound is coming somewhere, and with the help of blending and segmenting, we are trying them to adjust b in the words. Next sound is again the same as b. The sound is d, og, d, am, d, ants, d, ad, d, rum. Now the second group, be, d, a, d, be, d, and d, ba, d. It's not duh. Don't open your mouth when you say duh. It's not duh. That is your default adding at the end. That's called schwa sound. We are not supposed to add You're supposed to just say it even without moving the lips. D, d, d. Just try to say duh even without moving your lips. You keep a good space. D, 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 d. Yeah, this is the sound. So that you don't say duh. Otherwise, that creates problem. Again, dog, damn, dance, dad, rum. Show them this letter. The sound letter is D, and from here on, whenever they see this letter, they're supposed to say the sound of d. Correct. And this is again pointing out. This is d, og, dog, d, all, doll. This is d, rum, drum. This is d, ants, dance. And this is d, or, door. This is b, be, d, be, d, be, d. Mind it, just try to snatch just the last sound of d, which is be, d. Now we see two more sounds which are similar. Now C will have one more sound which we will look maybe in some of the comprehension and at the end of the module. For now, the sound is k. Again, without moving your lips, try to say the sound k. This is k up, k at, k at, k ross, k at, the k. Now mic, I've just tried to introduce the sound k. That's why you see mic, because k and k are similar. If you wish, you can just eliminate it. Similarly, music, k offie. So the sound is
K.
Yeah. And then show the kids this letter. The letter is C, and whenever now they see the letter C, the sound should be k without opening the lips. K. So k cup, k at, k at, k ross, k at. Similarly, here if you see, this is again k at, cat, k up, cup, k offie. This is mic. You may remove it for now. This is music. Again, we have a letter which is similar to K. Of course, when we say the sound of this letter, you say it something from the throat. K. But for kids, we may tell it that C and K sound similar, which is k. So this is k, ed, k, eight, k, I. So even when I'm saying k. Somewhere I'm even trying to say it from the throat, but for kids, we can just make it simpler. We can make their life simpler for now. K, I, k, angry, d, k, black, k, dark. Now, okay, I've just written O and K, but if you see, K will come in between. O, k, a. K, I snatched in between. O, k, a. Okay. Bank. Similarly, k, e. This is key. So again, k, I. Show them this letter and ask them to repeat the sound k. And these are the picture worksheets. So maybe k, ed, k, angry, k, e, o, k, a, bank, and this is k, ed. We have one more letter which is p. Again, just like b. Try to press the lower lip and say p without opening. Yes. So this is p, arret, p, agent, p, pencil, p, n, ca, p, ta, p, na, p, k, p. Show them this letter and try to practice with them. Pen, pencil, engine, arret. So that the kids are able to reproduce the sound when they see it. And similarly, this is the picture worksheet. So this is pencil, pen. This is cap, arret, parrot, tap, tap. This is tap. Now we see the last sound of for today, which is letter I, but the sound is E. It's not E, it's E. Without even stretching your lips, you should say it as E. Yeah, so this is A, India, A, ink, A, glue. Now, one more group. Since this is a vowel, it is supposed to come in between. So this is A, T, L, A, P, W, A, N, Z, A, P, H, A, T, S, A, P, D, A, G. So the sound is E. Show them this letter and they should be saying the sound by just singing the jingle. A, India, A, ink, A, glue. So that they can practice E sound. So they see it. You can also revise the sounds A, O, and E. So there are 3 vowels that we introduce so that they understand that there are 3 sounds for the 3 vowels. And this is the picture worksheet. So this is A, India. This is A, glue. This is L, A, ink, ink. And this is K, id. This is kid. And then we have the word activity. So I will just, so we have 1 more minute remaining. So I will just slowly introduce. Again, the idea is now this is going to be the toughest blending. Let me tell you why, because we are trying to blend. So kids may say it as B, and if you write B and E, they say it as B-E. So even if you point B-E, so they say it as B-E. So if their B is not proper, this is going to create big problem. So again, the idea is try to blend 2 letters, maybe starting by consonant and vowel. So maybe you can take B-I, P-I, K-I, S-I, F-Y, L-I. Whatever you see here, these are the rhymings that are there in the word for making kids' life easier. Again, you're supposed to take 1 word at a time. You can start with 2 letters. So let the kids blend B-I, P-I, and so on. So how you're supposed to do it? Again, write this far and let the kids say it as B. If they are able to say it as B, that won't be a problem. So B. If you write B here, B. It is automatically coming it as B. Put your pointer repeatedly so that it comes out naturally. B. If some kid is not able to say B, if the kid is still saying B, correct them that it is B. And what is the hint? So the name of this letter is B. So that is the sound. So whenever you write B-I, the sound should be B. So that kids have a hint that this is the name of the letter B, and they are supposed to say it as B. It's not B. Similarly for P-I also, it's the same hint. So P-E. Of course, I understand you have to do P-E, B.
So one thing I want to ask, like many a times it's B-I sound is by also. So like how are we going to,
We will handle that.
Okay.
We will handle that in the modules. So you will see that.
Okay.
Right now, it's just the short sound. So that's why
Okay.
I stressed that this is the short sound. We will handle कि जब कब वो I आएगा, कब वो E आएगा.
ठीक है. Okay.
So for now, we are just looking into the short sounds. So this is P. Similarly, K, E, Li, and so on. Ni. Once that is done, you can do the the revised way. It, in, ape, is, ill. Now since there is double L, the hint is both the letters are trying to reproduce the same sound. So the last letter goes silent, no sound. So there is only one sound to L, which is L. So this is ill. Similarly, ib, if, id, and once that is done, maybe then you can take 3 letters like by writing this. Again, point to P. Remove the pointer. Let the kid say it. What are the 2 sounds? What is the sound that you are getting? P. Then just put your pointer to T. P. pit. Let them say it, pit. Let them analyze. Similarly, bit, kid, sit, fit, and so on. Similarly, bin, p in, in, in. Similarly, lip, pill, nib, lid, tim. Now, then again, I will just end it by saying, maybe we will start from here only. So I have emphasized the rhyming sounds so that बच्चों को words बनाना easy हो जाए. So there is a rhyme involved in the first row, second row, and maybe this row. So we will start by one of you explaining what are the first of all rhyming sounds and what are the letters associated with it. And if you just change the initial sound, the kids are able to make one new word.
So,
okay. Yeah.
May I?
Yeah.
May I?
Yes, yeah, please.
Okay. So rhyming sounds are where the two letters have or the two words have the similar sounds.
Yeah.
So like in the first row, we can see bit, pit, kit, sit, fit, lit. So I think they all have the rhyming sounds.
Yeah.
Same way the second also, it's bin, pin, min, sin, tin. And then in the ill, bill, pill.
Yeah. So we will have to let kids identify what are the rhyming sounds. B in, p in, m in, s in, t in. So they will have to. We will have to let kids identify the rhyming sounds are a, n. There are two sounds. A, n. Let the kids tell what are the two letters associated with these rhyming sounds. So this n. If they're able to catch that n is written in, of course, which they will be able to do it because we have taught them the two sounds n. Then just try to change the first sound b in. They should be knowing this is in, and in is made by two letters. Similarly, for the first row, it. They should be able to identify the rhyming sound is it. First of all, it, and the sounds are letters are int. So this is how. And if they just focus on the initial sound, they will be able to make all the words bit, pit, kit, sit, fit, and so on. So this is the idea, and that is where we also re-emphasize the phonological awareness. So if they are able to understand different mouth positions, they can make different spellings on their own. And now I remember I gave both of you, and actually Priyakshi is not here today, but maybe we will discuss it tomorrow. I gave both of you a simple exercise yesterday of identifying the number of syllables in both of your words, both of your names, maybe. So maybe we will start from tomorrow, like discussing that.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, then we'll stop here and we will continue tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.